Chapter 18. Elissa. I didn't expect things to turn out the way they did today when I was getting ready to attend Alpha Cox's party. I knew Maverick, who is now an Alpha, would be there. I've been so afraid to approach him and explain to him the reason I was a jerk to him when we were young. When the elders told me I was going to be the chosen mate of Maverick, I laughed, because I knew it was never going to be possible with the news going around the pack that he doesn't care about women and never wants to be close to one except his fated mate. Now they want to make me be his Luna because they thought I was fit to take that position since we were close when we were young. I couldn't help but laugh at their ridiculous suggestion. Would Alpha Maverick take me as his mate? The same girl that brought him nothing but pain and misery. Who in his right senses would do that, to take a thorn in his flesh as his mate? I politely refused, telling them that Alpha Maverick will find his fated mate soon, and they would be together. Just as I predicted, the news was announced all over the packs, and invitation cards were sent out to various packs that were close to Maverick, inviting them to his mating ceremony. I didn't expect to get one, but I was surprised that I was given an invitation. He actually invited me to come join them in their celebration. I did what I always do best. I ignored the invitation and assumed I wasn't given one. With each passing day, I grew more anxious to meet him and tell him how sorry I have been and how wrong I was for accusing him of what happened to our parents. I had no right to get mad or angry at him. He lost his dad too, the only one he could count on, but he chose to ignore his feelings and put mine first. What did I do? I trampled on that and got him seriously sick, losing his sanity and almost driving him to death. Even when he traveled out, he kept calling to check up on me, but I never responded until he got tired and stopped calling or texting. Then I felt a huge part of my life was gone, stolen from me. I felt heartbroken. I yelled and cried every night with my phone glued to me, hoping he would call, but he never did again. Until I heard he was back to the pack. I thought he would come for me, so I shouldn't go looking for him. I would wait till he comes to find me, but he never did. Not once did he call or text or even send someone to come find me. I became a forgotten thing to him. Go find him. Go meet him. He has been there for us for as long as I can remember. He lost his mom, and he's grieving. We should be there for him at times like this, Dion, my wolf, would always say. She always urged me to go find him and comfort him, but damn, my legs wouldn't budge. My body wouldn't cooperate with me. Neither would my brain function at a time like that. When I needed it the most, my brain is always blank with nothing in it. Here I am, standing in front of someone I almost ruined and destroyed his life, and all he did was to accept me willingly without scolding or nagging me to death. He didn't even refuse to see me. I was glad he didn't hate me, but instead, he stretched his hands towards me to welcome me back, and we ended up catching up on old times till everyone and his mate came to join us. I'm glad he has someone that could help mend the broken pieces together and put a smile on his face. Thank you, I said to Luna Elissa when we were alone. For what? That came as a surprise, she said, a bit shocked at my sudden outburst. You helped repair what I had broken. Nah, I didn't help repair what you had broken. I helped my mate to be more lovely, kind, and happy with me. He can't resist all my kindness. I doubt anyone can. I laughed at her joke. You're right. You're surrounded by little fairies, each of them carrying a box filled with love, kindness and happiness with them, sprinkling it on your body as you walk and talk," I said sarcastically, and she laughed. "Really? No wonder I've been having them in abundance." She gave me a thumbs up. "I hope you're okay. I heard from Luna Diane about what happened between you and Maverick before now. I'm glad you were both able to settle things as adults. I'm happy you didn't throw away your years of friendship." She smiled. "Thank you, Luna. I guess I was foolish for blaming him for what happened. I didn't see him grieving with me either. When I realized it, it was too late to turn back the hands of time, and I hated my—" "All that is in the past now, Elsa," she cuts in. "Stop hating yourself for things that happened in the past. We are in the present now. Why don't you use your time to amend the broken rift that tore you guys apart? Make up with him. It's obvious he misses his best friend." She placed her hands on my shoulders. "I might be his mate, but you're his childhood friend. You know him more than I do. So patch things up quickly before he finds another best friend in me. I won't regret stealing him as a mate and also as a best friend. See you later," she said, walking away. I stood still for a minute, putting into consideration everything Luna Elissa said to me. I decided to take a walk far away from the hall, when I perceived it, the scent of lavender. I followed the smell and came to a halt. I saw a man standing in front of a statue. He was tall, had a broad chest and shoulders. Seeing him from behind tells me he would be handsome. "Mate!" Dion screamed in my head. I staggered forward and missed my step, but I was caught by him before falling on the ground. Harry. I have always not been one that likes loud music and parties. Each time I followed Luna Elissa on such occasions, I always ended up taking walks around, looking for a quiet place to stay and calm my nerves. Today wasn't any different. The moment I got the orders that Lorenzo and I should go and have fun, I didn't. Instead, I took a stroll around the garden until I got to the statue of Alpha Cox. He was exactly like the statue, and I liked it. I admire the creativity of the statue and how well sculptured it was. I guess I was lost in thoughts when Jexley paced around in my mind, making me lose focus. That was when I perceived it, just exactly how it was with Mia. What is the moon goddess playing at? I haven't even rejected Mia or forgotten about the pain she made me go through. The moon goddess has given me a second mate again. I hate this, and I will never break my vow. I have to pretend I didn't perceive anything. I have to act dumb about this. If being dumb would save my life, I'm to be the dumbest gamma ever. I was about to leave when I heard footsteps walking towards me, and she missed a step and was about to fall when I held her in my hands. "Mine!" Both Jexley and I chorused together, realizing what I have said. I let go of her hand, apologizing to her. I took off, running faster than my normal speed. I am not going to be trapped in a deceitful relationship, all because of the moon goddess's cursed mate bond. I want to be free, and if avoiding and running away from her will grant me my freedom, I will do just that, and I am glad I won't be able to see her for the rest of my life again. I saw Luna Elissa taking a walk when I hurried to her. I needed some advice, and I hoped she would be able to lend me her listening ears and give me some advice, since she found her second-chance love already after being hurt by Rhodey. "Harry, are you okay? You look like you just saw a ghost. Is everything all right?" she asked, and I shook my head. "Okay, go on. I'm all ears." I don't know how this might sound, but I think the moon goddess is playing a prank on me. "And why would you say such a thing?" "She gave me a second chance, mate, when I'm still suffering from the pains my mate brought upon me. I already made my vow before now not to have anything to do with the mating bond, to just raise my 2 pups alone and be happy," I explained, and she smiled. "I'm not the perfect person to give you any advice about this. I think you should think about this yourself and think about what you want. You should know that not everyone is like Mia. Mia might be wrong for the kids, and the moon goddess must have made a mistake in pairing you and Mia together, and maybe now she is trying to correct her mistakes by giving you a chance at happiness." She took a deep breath before continuing. "If you don't want a mate, no problem. No one is going to force you to mate her. But consider your pups. They are still children. How long are you going to deprive them the joy of having a motherly love and warmth? They will need a mommy someday." "I know, but I don't think I can—" I wanted to say something, but I couldn't find the right words. "Don't think," Luna Elissa cuts in, placing her hand on my chest. "Feel it. Allow your heart to feel what it wants to feel. If you think about it too much, you might end up making the wrong decision. Trust your heart and the moon goddess to guide you." She stopped and smiled at me. "Come, we have to go, and who knows, you might never see Miss Mysterious again," she said, and I laughed. I wanted to be able to raise my pups without having to see another woman hurt them again. Both of them are my priceless possessions. They mean the world to me. Hurting them means hurting me, and I wouldn't want to see them hurt. Even Luna Elissa also loves and values them with her life. She'd rather you hurt her also than you hurt them. She was there when they gave birth to my 2 pups, and Luna Elissa was the one who picked the names for them. I've tried my best to do things to not hurt them. I tried all my best to never raise an argument with Mia so that the pups wouldn't cry. But no matter what I did to make us a perfect home, it didn't work. Instead, it resulted in a scattered home. I was shocked the pups didn't cry. Maybe they must have seen something that triggered them. If they didn't cry then, I will make sure they never will cry again. I really hoped I wouldn't see her again, because I wasn't ready to feel or allow my pups to go through such emotional trauma again. Chapter 19. Elissa. Why do I feel like I'm being watched in my sleep? A pair of eyes piercing through me. Maybe it's my imagination playing a fast one on me. I smiled, stretching my body on the bed. A perfect morning after some alcohol and wolfbane to calm the nerves and relieve me of some stress. Come to think of it, how did I get on the bed last night? Or even get home? He is such a kind gentleman. I guess I have to keep being his tag-along when I want to calm nerves again. It's refreshing. I smiled, stretching again. I sluggishly sat up on the bed, doing a little yoga in my sitting position, like bending sideways and then twisting sideways. I was about to twist to my right when my eyes spotted someone who was staring at me. "Holy shit!" I screamed out in fright. Why was he sitting there, not saying a word, as I turned and stretched my body? I looked closely at him, and something about him seemed weird. His face looked dull, sleep-deprived, yes, that was it, and his hair was rough. His hand was on his jaw, boring holes into me with his eyes. "You scared me," I managed to say. "I'm sorry. I couldn't sleep all through the night. I should go get dressed. I have a meeting to attend." He got up from the chair as he headed towards the bathroom and stopped halfway to look at me. He was behaving strangely, and that scared me a lot. "Do you want to kill me on time before I can achieve everything I want to achieve?" he asked, his question sounding strange, just the way he was behaving. "I don't understand. Did I do anything wrong? I asked him. I was more confused than ever, and he shook his head. I guess you don't remember. Tisk, tisk. He smacked his tongue. Next time I might not be able to control myself, he said, before entering the bathroom, and I heard the sound of water dropping. I sat still, trying to recollect what happened last night, and what must have triggered him to behave like that. Or is he upset that I got drunk and he had to carry me home all by himself? I wasn't that heavy last time I checked. Oh, I haven't checked since I found out I was pregnant. Wow. That reminds me, I haven't made an appointment with a doctor about the baby, so we could follow the stages and keep it on track. Maverick hasn't said anything yet, and I can't go to the pack's doctor with a month and 2 weeks pregnant. They'll definitely talk. I don't want to ruin his plans. I have no choice but to drop the topic the moment he comes out of the bathroom. It was as if the universe were in support of me bringing the topic. Soon after I tried to brush off such a thought, that I heard the showers turning off, and Maverick came out of the bathroom with a towel around his waist, and water dripping down from his hair to his body, slowly sliding down the towel. Each drop of water that flowed down his body had me wishing that it was my hands roaming around his well-sculptured and built body. I licked my lips as I kept fantasizing about his body. Have you had your fill, or should I remove the towel and give you access to my full body? He teased, his voice jerking me out of my fantasy world. What? I asked as I gulped down my saliva. I should be asking you that. You called my name and zoned out. I thought something was wrong until I saw you licking your lips, and I knew you were okay. Okay? I took a deep breath. Get dressed first. We need to talk, I said, and he bobbed his head before entering the dressing room. I couldn't believe I was staring at him until he caught me. But who the hell would be able to resist his kind of body that was fully designed by the moon goddess? To me, I think she took her precious time in carving a masterpiece like him. He was back in no time, dressed in a black suit, white undershirt, and a black tie, parting his hair sideways. He looked hot, and I had to admit it. Go ahead. I have 15 minutes until the meeting starts, he said. I have to go to the hospital. I broke the news to him without wasting time, and he sprang up from the chair and was beside me in no time. His fast movements surprised me. His hand was on my forehead, checking if it was hot or not, or if I was down with the flu. What are you doing? I asked him. Checking if you have the flu, he answered. Yeah, right. Werewolves don't fall sick, Mr. Maverick, I said, slapping his hand off my forehead. Then what is wrong? Is it the pup? I called the pack doctor last night, asking him if a pregnant woman drinks wolfbane, if it will affect the pup, and he said no, so what's— You told the pack doctor that I was pregnant? I yelled. Yeah, no, I don't know. I was worried about you and the pup especially when I was the one who took you to the party, knowing that if anything happens to the pup, you'll hate me, and I wasn't ready for that. I just did what I could to help you out before it would be too late, he explained. Thank you, though I'm not angry about you telling the pack's doctor. What are you going to say about me being pregnant? We just mated, and it's too early for me to be a month and 2 weeks gone. Damn, the plan is ruined now, I exclaimed. It's not. We've been seeing each other secretly, but I didn't want to tell the elders because I wasn't ready yet. Nobody can question me. I have it all under control. So, what do you want to tell me? I was having doubts. Nevertheless, I was going to ask your permission and for us to form a backup story, because I was planning to go to the pack's doctor to book an appointment with him about the baby. It's my first, and I need to follow the right steps. The pup is precious to me, I said, and he smiled. Perfect. We could just tell the pack doctor that the child is mine, and soon rumors will spread out. The contract won't be ruined. I promise you," he assured me. "How long will it take for you to find another mate?" I asked him, and he froze, turning around to look at me. "Soon? Why do you ask?" "I have to know because I can't keep living here, and besides, I miss my work and my boss." "Give me a couple of months. I'll bring her here in no time. And as for your work, you can go there and see your boss. The contract doesn't restrict you from doing what you love. I have to delay the meeting so I can drive you to the pack hospital. Excuse me." He left me hanging. A couple of months and soon? Does it mean she is somewhere, or he has found her and doesn't want to hurt me? Which is it, Maverick? Hurry up and tell me before the feelings develop deeper, to the point I won't be able to let you go. Maverick. She loves me. She loves me. She loves me. Those words kept recurring in my head as I laid beside her, staring at her while she slept. Though the room was dark, the little blue light was reflecting on her face, and even in her sleep she looked beautiful. I couldn't be happier hearing her say she loves me, though I knew it was the alcohol speaking. It would be my happiest moment if I heard it from her when she wasn't drunk, but sober and fully awake. I should be sleeping since I have a meeting tomorrow, but here I am, staring at the only woman that has made me smile and laugh this much since the death of my parents. I felt glad that the moon goddess delayed me from having a mate just to give me someone special that can heal my pains. I couldn't resist the urge to touch her face. I let my hand stroke her face gently, and a soft moan escaped her lips. Soon she was breathing hard and panting, moaning out as she slept. "Yes, Maverick, right there. Please," she pleaded as she was moaning. What the hell is she dreaming about? And what am I doing to her in that dream? Each minute the moans increased, and I found myself getting hard. Whatever she was dreaming about was turning me on, and I wanted it to be a reality, not a dream. "Please fuck me. Please. I love you," she kept begging. I was conflicted as to whether I should wake her up or not. Her moans and cries of pleasure were unbearable for me. It was life-torturing, and I couldn't control myself. I didn't want to do something to make her mad, or something I would regret. I placed a cushion on my head, trying to block her moans, but it wasn't helping. I tossed and turned around on the bed before giving up. I stood up and went to sit on the chair and watched until she was done. I wasn't able to sleep anymore. My hardened member was bulging and pulsing. It was hard and wanting to release. I was going to settle myself by using my hand. I was done with that pleasuring myself. I wanted my mate, but I promised not to do something to piss her off or make her cancel the contract. So the best thing to do was to suffer and bear my urge to make love to her. I didn't know how long I sat, staring at her, even when she was fast asleep, only to be alerted by morning moans from her stretching as she twisted and turned, doing her yoga. She looked calm and peaceful, while I was in hell last night. Couldn't get a single sleep because my mind was messed up, and the thoughts of devouring her and making her moan my name, in reality, filled my thoughts. I waited for her to notice me, and when she did, I got up to take my bath, not without giving her a warning I am going to carry out when next she does it. I won't be the only one to be tormented. Together we'll both have the pleasure, and get to our orgasm together. With the conversation about going to the pack hospital for her antenatal care booking, I had to prepare with Gerald to postpone the meeting from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. because my wife was sick. We drove to the pack hospital, and luckily for us, the very person I wanted was present, Dr. Leo Myers. "Greetings, Alpha and Luna Xander." "Greetings, Mr. Leo." "Hope everything is okay. I was on my way to have breakfast. he informed us. Breakfast later. Your Luna has more pressing needs, I said. To my office, then. Right this way. Please follow me, he said, and we followed his tail straight to his office. If I may ask, what is the problem? He asked. She is pregnant, I said, before Elissa could reply to him. She is a month and 2 weeks pregnant. He turned to look at me. And yes, I know it's impossible because we just mated, but we have been seeing each other, and I just wasn't ready to take a mate. Does that answer all of your questions? I asked. Dr. Leo nodded in agreement. Good. I'll wait outside while you carry out your necessary test. I excused myself. I sat in the waiting room, waiting patiently for her to be through with what they were doing. Just then, my phone rang, and I checked that the caller was Elissa. "Hello, Maverick! I found him!" she yelled, screaming at the top of her voice. Okay, hold on, ugly. Who did you find, and why are you yelling instead of talking normally? We're werewolves, and you are about to burst my eardrums, I complained. Sorry, I'm just excited, she muttered. So, what's the news, ugly? I asked. She took a deep breath before answering the question. I found my mate last night at the party. You little witch. You snuck out and followed him home? No wonder we weren't able to see you at the after-party. So, tell me what his name is and what does he do? What pack does he belong to? I asked her. I wish I knew. I wouldn't be calling you. Well, I couldn't get the name because he ran off, not caring to exchange names or numbers. The moment he said mine, he took off and was gone before I could realize what was happening, she reported. Damn. So you want my help in locating him, right? Yes. Anything you can do about it, just do it. For me. I paused when I saw Elissa coming out of the doctor's office alongside the doctor. Meet me at my office today by 4 p.m. I have a meeting now and I need to take my mate home. Okay, fine. Thank you a lot. Oh, and one more thing. Get a sketch of him. You know, I got a degree in that. I have the sketch already with me. I'll see you later. Say me well to Luna Elissa, she said before disconnecting the call, just in time to see Elissa in front of me with her hands folded on her chest. It's Elsa. She found her mate, I reported to her. I wasn't asking about that. He asked you a question, but don't worry, I have answered him, and I'm glad she found her mate. Well, her mate doesn't want her, I replied to her. Turning to Dr. Leo, I asked, When's the next appointment? Next Wednesday, he answered. Okay, thank you very much, Leo. I thanked him, and we headed out. Our discussion during our journey to the pack was about Elsa and her new mate. I explained everything about her, and how I told her I would help her find him. With a farewell kiss on the lips, because we were being watched, I drove off to my meeting ground. Chapter 20. I was at home playing with Harry's pups. I felt lonely at home today, so I called my boss Rosalind and told her that I would be coming back to work. She was excited to hear from me. What was meant to be a boss and staff relationship now turned into a sisterly relationship. Harry's pups have been crying that they wanted to come spend some time with me, that they missed me. I had no choice but to take them in while Harry went out on a patrol. I heard a knock on the door. I went to get the door and was surprised to see Elsa standing in front of me. Good evening, Luna Elissa. I'm sorry for coming this late, but Maverick, Alpha Maverick, told me to come wait for him, she explained. Evening, Elsa. Oh, Maverick isn't back yet, but you can sit down and relax till he gets back, I said, and she sat on a couch opposite the pups that were playing with their various toys. Jessie was playing with her Barbie doll, while Thompson was playing with his car toy that I got for them. Oh, sorry, this is my Gamma's pups. Come, kids, say hi. I called the pups, and they ran to me. This is Jessie, the oldest, and Thompson, the youngest, Jessie is 4 and Thompson is 2 years old. Though they are not mine, I see them as mine. Wow, they are so cute. She stretched her hands towards them, and they both ran to her. Wow, so cute. Hope you won't mind if I come say hi to you both anytime you're here with your auntie, she asked, and they both bobbed their heads. You're pretty too, Jessie complimented her, and we both laughed. I watched as Elissa was playing with them. She is good with kids, more than I will ever be, and I was kind of sad for her that her mate didn't want her. Who would reject someone as lovely as her? If we were humans, and not tied to the mating bond stuff, I would definitely be linking her with Harry. They are both 2 nice people. Too bad they are mated to jerks that don't appreciate what they have. I hope Mia rots in wherever she is without seeing Harry and the pups again. I will make sure she doesn't come close to them. I hate cheats, and though it excites me to know that Elizabeth got a taste of what she did to me, I feel bad for Harry, who is so innocent and had to go through such trauma. I'm glad that since he arrived here, he has been healing fast and he has fully recovered. Luna? I heard Elissa call out to me. Since it's just both of us, I would prefer you call me Elissa. Besides, have you forgotten that Maverick's friends are my friends also? I hope we get to be close, apart from the Luna and Beta relationship. I will try my best about that, she said honestly. I like that fact about her. The fact that she's always telling the truth, no matter how difficult the situation is. We will work on that. I patted her shoulder. First, we need to start with you calling me by my name, so why not try it? Luna, I mean, Elle? The door opened, and Maverick walked in, and she heaved a sigh of relief, making me laugh. Uncle Maverick! The pups yelled out as they ran to welcome him. With a single push, both pups were on his shoulders as he walked in to sit beside me. Welcome, love, I said, planting a kiss on his mouth, and he smiled. Welcome, Maverick. Damn, you're late, she scolded. Why are you late? I asked him, supporting Elissa. The meeting took our time, and I was lost in the files I was sorting out. I'm sorry. He apologized. You could have brought it home so we could do it together. I didn't want to stress you, especially in your condition, he said, trying to play the pity game with me. Am I complaining? I love it. He pulled me close and gave me a peck on both cheeks. I'm sorry, he apologized, and I pulled him close, claiming his lips. At some point, I tend to forget that we are pretending. It felt so real to me that I just wanted it to be real. I wanted him to tell me he likes me. I will be okay with just that. I wanted to say it. I wanted to tell him I love him, but I just couldn't. I found myself swallowing my words and everything I had to say to him. Guys, should I take the pups and excuse you guys, or should we talk? Then I'll take the pups and come back when you're both done, Elissa asked, and we quickly separated. Sorry, we should talk about it. Can I see the painting of the guy? Maverick asked, stretching his hand forward, and Elissa gave him the book that she had drawn of her mate. Page by page, he flipped over it until he got to the page where the drawing was complete and colored. Maverick gasped at the sight of the image, which made me collect the book from him, and was shocked to see Harry on it. What, guys? Do you know him? She asked, and we both bobbed our heads. Where is he? Where can I see him? She asked, as she stood up and sat between us. This is my Gamma, the father of the pups you were carrying and playing with, I replied, and she froze. Oh, my goddess, she exclaimed. This is amazing. I'm lucky. Am I his second chance mate? She asked, and I nodded. Good. I don't mind. I love kids, and his pups are amazing. I won't mind if they call me Mommy. I would like to share their happiness and joy with them. I watched in awe as she daydreamed of how she wished to spend her life with Harry, and I couldn't help but glance at Maverick. Should I give him a chance, too, and be happy just the same way Elissa is happy? I'm just like Harry, broken and in pain. I was lost in thought when we heard a knock on the door, and Maverick startled me by asking the person to come in. "Holy shit!" was the last thing I heard before the owner of the voice ran off. Harry. I was given orders to assist his beta Lorenzo on a patrol around the packs. Rumors were going around that some rogue wolves were attacking neighboring packs, and he wanted to be sure there was no free place where they could break in. When we were done going through all the wings, I bid Lorenzo farewell, but he said we should go grab some drinks since we were off duty. I didn't want to disappoint Lorenzo because we were just creating our bonds, and I didn't want to break it. I accepted his offer, and we went drinking. We had to mix the drinks with Wolfbane so we could get drunk and feel the chill of it. Completely wasted, we talked about our lives, and I had to tell him about my mate Mia, and how the moon goddess surprised me with another. "You should be happy. It means the moon goddess is trying to repay you for the pains she caused you," Lorenzo said, and I shook my head. What if it is to double the pain I have already? What if she is just like my first mate? I don't want anyone coming close to my pups and hurting them as their mom did. They matter more than anything to me. They are my priceless jewels, and I can't bear to see them cry or be in pain. Not everyone is like your first mate. You shouldn't consider all mates as evil. Most of them are, because I have seen from experience. Luna Elissa's first mate wasn't good either. He chose the Luna's friend over her, then cheated on Luna's friend with my mate. How evil can you describe it? I asked him, and he chuckled. She found her second chance mate with the Alpha. She's happy, and you can see it. Why don't you try this out? Watch as it goes before you mate her, and when you see the both of you are complete together, you can then mate her. Who knows? She might not be like your last mate. Just try it out, he advised, hitting my shoulder playfully, and I smiled. I have to go, Lorenzo. My pups are waiting for me, I announced. I was about to leave when he pulled me by my hand. I have a gift for Thompson and Jesse. Come along with me, he said, and I thanked him. I thought being in this pack as an outcast would be difficult, but to my surprise they all welcomed me like I was always part of their pack, and Lorenzo made me feel most welcome. With the gifts in my hands, I hurried to the Alpha's house to hand their gifts to them. I knocked on the door, and with the Alpha's command I walked in, and I noticed her, the strange woman with my pups in her hands. She was laughing at what Alpha Maverick and Luna Elissa were saying. They all knew each other, which surprised me. The fact that got to me the most was how my pups welcomed and accepted her wholeheartedly. "Holy shit!" I yelled, startling them, and I did the very first thing that came to my mind. Run. I did just that. I ran as fast as I could. Everything I thought was gone that night. I thought I would never see her again, but now I noticed I will be seeing her always. She is close to the Alpha, Luna, and with my pups also. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude in your private life." I heard a female voice, and I turned around to see her. How fast is she? And how is she here? I swore I left her in the Alpha's house. I didn't know you were related to Maverick and Elissa. I just came to meet and tell them about my runaway mate, and boom, you came. Only to run away again, to our surprise. I'm sorry," she apologized. "It isn't your fault. I understand it was a coincidence." "Thank you. Your pups, they're amazing. I want to ask a question, and I hope I'm not pushing my luck or asking personal questions, but this is the first time we're having this long conversation." "You can ask. I'll try my best to answer you," I replied. "Why? Why did you run away when you saw me?" she asked. "I wasn't expecting a mate. Neither was I planning on having one. Why, you are a werewolf. You should be expecting a mate. So why not? Because I didn't reject my first mate, even when she hurt me. I couldn't reject her. Besides, I said I didn't want a mate again. I was surprised that the moon goddess gave me one when I'm still in the stage of healing. I'm sorry for the pains you went through, but you shouldn't take it out on people who genuinely care. I'm not asking you to mate me now, because I understand you're in the process of mourning, or whatever you are feeling now, but please, get to know me, and see if I am like your ex-mate, and if you find a trace of her in me, then reject me, she said. She was humbled, and kind of different from how Mia was. If I should give her a chance and mate her, Mia would be in pain. I don't want her to suffer the same pains she put me through. I wouldn't want my enemies to go through that too. I'm sorry, I can't. If I decide to keep you close to me as a friend, the mate bond, the attraction, will definitely make us want each other more than just friends. I can't do that to you. We should end it here and pray the moon goddess grants you a second chance, mate, I replied to her. I turned on my heels, heading towards the Alpha's home, when she blocked my path. I'm Elissa Hardy, a beta. I'm 22 years old, single, and want to be your friend, Harry, she said, introducing herself with a smile on her face. For the first time, I took notice of her. She is beautiful, sun-kissed, blue eyes, and cute dimples, which made her smile lovely. Everything about her screamed perfection, and her lips. Damn, it's inviting. Shit, I hate this mate bond, I said to myself, before bringing my head back to the edge. Thank you, Beta Elsa, but please understand me, I pleaded. What about your pups? They already like me. Will you separate them from me? She asked, and I shook my head. I can't do that. It will hurt them. You are free to see them. She screamed and jumped up in excitement. Watch out, Harry. Once your kids fall in love with me, your heart will be the next. I'll aim hard at it next, and I won't stop until I capture it. She walked slowly to me, placing an unexpected kiss on my cheek, screeching in excitement as she ran away. I was alone, standing and staring at space with my hand on my cheek. I think I just got myself into trouble, and I don't think I can escape from it. Chapter 21. Elissa. It's been 4 days since the incident between Harry and Elsa. Since then, things have been awkward between them, and kind of sad for me, because Elsa has succeeded in snatching Jessie and Thompson from me. To the pups, I was no longer their sweet aunt. All the praises were ascribed to Elsa now. Not that I was jealous. I understood she needed the pups' love to be able to get to Harry's heart and make him claim her as his mate. I wished them well, and I was going to support them in any way I can. You are lost in thoughts again, Elissa. Rosalind tapped me on my shoulder, which startled me. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something important, I said with a smile on my face. Ex issues? Nah, friend issues. Can I ask you a question? And I swear it isn't me this time. It's just about my friends, okay? I closed the counter and held her hands, dragging her to a chair. Okay, this is serious then, if it got you so worked up. Go ahead, I'm all ears. She placed her hands on her jaw, staring at me. Yeah, it goes like this. I have a best friend named Harry, and, just like in my case, got cheated on by his wife, and I invited him over to come stay with me, together with his parents and his children. Now fate has smiled on him, with a lovely, cute girl called Elsa, who is so good and sweet with his kids, but he's scared, and doesn't trust the girl because he feels she's just like his ex. Isn't this the same fate as you? That was what you explained to me over the phone, how you were scared of giving him a chance because you felt like you would be hurt and broken again. Now your friend is suffering the same fate as you. She kept tapping her hand on the table while I nodded at every word she got right. Yes, but my case is different. I fell in love with mine, but he doesn't know. I tried so many times to tell Harry that Elsa might not be like his ex, and besides, his ex didn't care about their children, but Elsa does, and she's always with them. Just yesterday the kids were crying that they had fun whenever they were with her, so they begged me to take them to her place to spend the night, which I did. Still, Harry doesn't want to see the good side of it, and I don't know how to help him out. I sighed, resting my head on the table. What if he is looking up to you? She said, and I raised my head to look at her. How? I asked her. You keep advising him to take this Elsa girl when you haven't taken your own advice. What if he suspects you just want to set him up again in a failed relationship? If he really is your friend, like you said, then he might be feeling what emotions you feel and what you're afraid of. If you're afraid of taking someone who shows you love and affection, how then do you expect him to take your advice? She asked, and I arched my eyebrows, standing up from my seat. My case is different from his. How? To me, it's the same thing. It's not. Maverick and I both signed a contract. Everything he is showing and displaying to others is just an act, a way of stopping his family away from pestering him. He doesn't mean it. We're just fooling them, and nothing more. Are you sure about that? Are you sure it's just an act and nothing more? Your mouth says something, but your eyes tell a different story from what you are saying. You love him, Elissa, and it's so obvious that even the blind can see it. Why not try it and give him a chance? He might be different from that bastard of your ex, she advised. He doesn't want the child growing in me, and I can't choose him over my child because men are bound to fail and break their promises, but this child won't, I boldly said. How sure are you that he hasn't changed his mind? Didn't you say he's very fond of your best friend's children? What if he's practicing for your unborn child to love and adore him or her? I was about to answer her question when the bell rang, indicating we have a customer. When I get back, we will talk about this more. I want to get something I'm lacking in my house. She waved me farewell while I attended to the customer. Finally alone, I started pondering on what Rosalind said. What if Maverick has taken a liking to me and the pup? But if he has, won't he have told me about it, so we could begin this mating bond more seriously? Should I take up the courage like Elsa and make the first move? What if he turns me down, like Harry did, and ends the contract? Still lost in thought, I felt this tingling sensation building inside me. A sudden feeling engulfed my entire body, and I gasped as a scorching heat inflamed my entire body. My body felt as if it was being lit on fire within me, and everything burned. I choked as I felt something coming out from my cunt. Damn, this is not the right time to be in heat. I didn't even think of any sexual thoughts. Why is this happening to me? I heard the sound of someone walking towards the door, and I quickly used the little strength I had and ran to the door, putting the closed sign up, which indicates closed for the day. I took a step forward, as I felt another wave again, and I fell on the ground, shaking. I needed this to stop. If a male wolf smells me the way I am right now, with no one to protect me, I'll be vulnerable to them. I won't be able to fight them off when they come to take complete control of my body. I slowly crawled away from the door as the pain increased. I had no choice but to mind-link the only one I know that could help me right now. Please. I need you. Elissa, is everything okay? Why are you sounding like that? Is everything okay? Maverick asked. With the way he spoke, one could tell he was worried. I don't know. Please, just come. I'm on my way. "Hang in there," he said before closing the mind link. I curled myself like a ball, trying to bear the pains that were erupting inside of me. Maverick Xander. Hearing her distress call for help got me worried. I was on my way to get some documents when I heard her voice calling for me. I quickly turned the car around, heading straight to where she was working, driving at full speed. When I got to the location, I hurriedly got out of the car and ran towards the door. The closed sign got me worried. "Elissa, it's Maverick. Open up, please," I screamed as I knocked on the door. "Come in, please. The door is not locked," I heard her voice faintly. I quickly opened the door and ran towards her, the smell coming out from her alerting my hormones. I staggered backwards. I felt my body shaking, and I swallowed hard. What happened to her? How was she in her heat? The heat radiating from her body was igniting something from my body. I growled slowly as her puppy-like eyes stared at me. I felt like a predator about to attack its prey. I choked as my member pulsed and started tingling, gently springing to life and making things worse for me. I felt completely and utterly breathless as my eyes watched over her. I took another step backward as she approached me, until my back was against the wall. Elissa, what's wrong? How did this happen?" I don't know. My heat. I feel hot again," she explained. She missed her steps and was about to fall to the ground when I grabbed her and pulled her close to me. Big mistake on my part. There was this spark from our body that heightened everything. The thought of my hands all over her body while she moaned my name out. Without warning, I pinned her to the wall, claiming her lips with mine. Elissa gasped as her nails dug into my arms, my hands groping her ass and squeezing it tightly. The scent rolling off of Elissa was much too intoxicating as I buried my face in her neck, gaining pleasure as she shivered at my touch. I slowly bit into Elissa's neck, causing moans to slip from her mouth, and without warning I brought my hips forward as I started twisting my hips against her in a frantic and desperate attempt to create friction that would stir us further. My member was already hard, just from the smell emitting from her. My hands roaming over their body, I slowly lifted her skirt upwards as I slid my hands in her panties and slowly found her sensitive bud. She gasped, a strange sound leaving her lips, and her moans causing me to growl loudly as I mercilessly started feeling my mate's insides. I was slowly losing my sanity and resolve. I cared less of what might happen. I couldn't control myself anymore as I unbuttoned her blouse. I cupped her breast with my hand, making her lose control. A knock on the door startled us, and I quickly pulled away from her. Her moans wouldn't stop, and her eyes were burning red with lust and sexual desires. I took her to a seat and told her to sit down. I could bear her teeth grinding, trying hard to suppress the moans that were building inside of her. Dressing her and arranging her hair, I rushed to the door to open it, and a slim figure walked in with a confused look on her face. When she saw Elissa, she ran to her. "What have you done to her? I'm calling the cops on you," she threatened. "Please be calm. I'm Maverick, her boyfriend, or soon-to-be boyfriend," I said, using the human terms. "Oh, you're the Maverick. Nice. But what's wrong with her? Her body is burning up. And how did you get here?" "She called me. I'm going to take her to the hospital. We were about to leave when you knocked." "Please do. She's in your care. Take care of her," she pleaded, and I bobbed my head before walking to meet Elissa, and I lifted her in my arms, while she wrapped her hands around my neck, sniffing my neck and placing sweet kisses on it. If I don't get us out of here, I won't be able to survive the torture anymore. I placed her on the passenger seat, buckled her with the seatbelt, and ran to the driver's seat. Igniting the car, I drove off. She stirred and twisted on her seat while fondling herself. This wasn't what heat does to someone. Why is hers like that? Were these the repercussions of not mating her that night when the elders did that to us? Was it that was affecting her in a crazy way that I can't comprehend? My will of restraining myself and trying to be the good man was all gone. All I wanted was to fill her up. She started panting, her heart constricting as her hands held tightly onto the seat. When we got to the pack house, I ran to open the door and allowed her to lean on me. Her body was damn hot, and it made me scared. I doubt I could control myself. Even if I could, I doubt the heat suppressant would be able to do her any good. I picked her up in my arms and ran inside our room, locking the doors behind us. When I got to the room, I slowly dropped her on the bed. "Hold on, let me get the suppressant. It will help a little," I suggested. I turned to walk away when she pulled me on top of her. "I don't want that. You are the one I want, Maverick. I don't need no drugs. I need you to fill me up, to complete me. Make love to me, Maverick Xander," she said, kissing me. My hands skimmed into her shirt, and I sucked in a breath as I allowed my hands to feel her body. Without patience, I ripped off her blouse and bra, leaving her completely naked underneath me. Her breast was well formed, and I couldn't help but cup it as I slowly massaged it gently while using my thumbs to rub her nipples. I nibbled, licked, and picked on her exposed neck. She shook underneath me breathlessly, and moans escaped her lips. Sucking one of her breasts, I slide my hands underneath her skirt and slide her pants off, locating her sweet bud and slowly massaging it. I used my lips to seal her moans. I stopped to stare into her eyes. I was melting slowly while looking into her eyes. "Elissa, is this what you want, and not the heat making decisions for you?" I asked her, and she nodded. "This is what I want. This is Elissa needing you and not the heat. But why? I don't want to do this and watch you hate me in the morning. I can't bear to see you mad at me." "I won't. I promise. So please, fill me up, my love." That was the confirmation I needed before claiming her lips with mine again. Chapter 23. Elizabeth. What was supposed to be a few days turned out to be a month and some weeks. I have been locked, or rather trapped in this hellhole for almost 2 months. I have tried everything to escape, but I couldn't. All I was left with were burns all over my body and my hands from the silver windows and doors that was laced with wolfsbane. Whoever Rhodey created this hellhole for must have done something bad and disgusting to deserve something this awful. But then again, who am I to judge? My only hope and prayer was to find a way of getting out of here and out of this pack forever. Once that happens, the first thing I would do would be to renounce everything that binds me to the pack. I have been totally forgotten by Rhodey. It seems like I don't exist to him in his world any longer. The only thing in his mind was Elissa. He has become obsessed with finding her, and he has dedicated every resource he has to find her. His obsession has driven the pack to the drain, and he doesn't care about it. He wanted her and his pup that was growing inside of her back to the pack, and the only time he remembers I existed was to satisfy his sexual desires, and that's if he was tired of sleeping with the Omegas. I was constantly reminded by him how much of a failure I was, and how I brought doom to his life and his pack. Yeah, I know I messed up, but I didn't do it alone. He promised me love, and he told me he was tired of his mate. He said he wanted me to be his forever, and because I had fallen deeply in love with him, I had erased every thought I had of ever finding my fated mate to accept the warmth of Rhodey. Now I'm in regrets, and wishing I could turn back the hands of time. Being trapped here was affecting my senses, my smell, and my wolf, Alox. She has been hiding herself from me completely. I could feel her presence getting weak, which got me worried. So many times I would cry my eyes out when Rhodey was on his usual sexual spree with his omegas. I would feel the intense pain and my heart burning hot. I wished to make him feel half the pain I was feeling. I wished to reject him, but I couldn't. I don't know what my life will be like after telling him I want to reject him. If he could lock me up like this, then he could easily kill me off with no regrets, and that would be the end of my life. I have a future ahead of me, and I won't waste it like this. So instead, I have decided to accept everything and be calm about it until the day I have my breakthrough and escape this hell, while I brought myself into. Surprisingly, the only one that stood beside me was Jemiah, his beta. I always thought he was heartless like Rhodey, but he proved me wrong. At times when I cried into the night due to the pains that Rhodey was making me go through, he was always beside me, holding my hands tightly and not wanting to let go, assuring me that everything will be okay soon and I should bear a little. He has broken so many rules created by Rhodey to see me suffer, and always finds a way to soothe and ease my pain. Sometimes I wonder why he chose to do what he does, but I couldn't ask him, for the fear of losing the only company I had. Being alone was something I don't want to experience again. It was dreadful. Without him around, I know I would have lost my sanity. When I was forbidden to be served food for days, he always found a way to sneak me some food. He was what they call the opposite of Rhodey. But I know for sure that this won't last long. Happiness always comes with lots of mystery and sorrows, and with pains. I don't want to hold on to this friendship and end up being shown that nothing lasts forever. I have to just pretend and enjoy the conversation until I find a way to leave this place for good. Jemiah. That smell got me wondering where it was coming from the moment I entered the Alpha's home. I have been here so many times, but I haven't perceived the smell before. Why now? I asked the other werewolves around if they could perceive the smell, but they all said no. That was when it occurred to me that I could only perceive it because the person with the smell was my mate, and mine alone. Dexter was growling in my ears, wanting to meet our mate and bond with them. I wasn't left out. I wanted to meet him or her too. I hastened my steps as I walked towards the living room. Then I saw her, the most beautiful girl I have ever seen, and a smile escaped my lips as Dexter howled out in excitement, and his screams of "Mine, mine, mine" filled my head. Just then, Alpha Rhodey cleared his throat, which brought me back to reality from my dreamland. I called you here to make a special announcement, since you all are my most trusted ranked buddies and soldiers. You all know me and the Luna you used to know aren't together anymore, so I have decided to take in a new mate, and here she is. Her name is Elizabeth Matthew James. She's going to be your new Luna, so I will advise you all to respect her, adore her, and make her feel special, just like the way you all treated your past Luna. Is that understood, guys? He asked. My once cheerful smile was gradually replaced with a sad face. The thought of having a mate that I would share my happiness and love with was all ruined, and to crown it all, what heightened the pain was that she couldn't tell or feel it that I was her mate, and not Alpha Rhodey. My sight got blurry as I watched her kiss Alpha Rhodey. That was supposed to be us, and not them. "Yes, Alpha," we all chorused. "You are all dismissed," he said. I stared at them one last time before heading towards the door. I know that I will never have her as mine. Ever since then, I have been watching over her secretly. I knew this would all end when the moon goddess gives me a second chance mate, but not all wishes come through. It's been months, and I still haven't got a second chance mate, and I'm stuck here, watching over her from the shadows. Watching her being violated by Rhodey sent hot steams following through my body. I was angry, and all I wanted right now was to rip his heart out and rescue her from the pains she was going through. Even when I knew she didn't know I existed because her thoughts were clouded by Rhodey, still, I chose to protect her in the shadows. Then I had to lock her in a place that wasn't conducive for a living soul. She and her wolf were starving, so I took it upon myself to break some certain rules and avoid being caught by him. I had to send some food over to her by myself, just so she would eat and have strength till the day I break her free. I couldn't bear to watch my mate suffer. It also means separating myself from the feelings of watching a loved one suffer. I don't know if I will have the courage to tell her how badly I feel for her. What was supposed to be just giving her some food turned into something different. I found myself spending time with her, listening to her talk about her life and how she found herself stuck with Rhodey. I felt bad for her. I knew what she did was wrong, but being treated this way was and is enough. I was always observing her till 3 a.m. in the morning before going back to my room to sleep. And most times, when she feels the pains of her mate having sex, she screams into the night, and without thinking of the consequences of being caught, I would rush into the prison, I normally call it, and I would pull her into my arms, patting her back to calm her down. "Why are you being so nice to me?" she asked all of a sudden, startling me. What can I say to her that she would believe? Just then, I heard the voice of Alpha Rhodey by the bell. I have to hurry back. Alpha Rhodey is calling out to me. Without waiting for her response, I dashed into the night, promising her to be back again. I know by then I would have gathered the courage to tell her what I am to her. The next day, just as I promised her, I arrived at the place, wearing my gloves. I opened the gate and walked in to meet her, waiting patiently for me. Well, I don't blame her. Being trapped in here is boring, and I was the only one she was looking up to. I handed her the food, and she quickly ate before turning around to look at me. "Well, you left early yesterday and didn't answer my questions, so I'm going to ask again. Why are you helping me?" she asked. I took a deep breath before answering her. "I felt you would be lonely and wanted someone to talk to because you're trapped here," I lied to her. "Oh, really? Is that why you would risk your life to come see me, knowing how Rhodey is? You want to end your life because of keeping me company? Seriously, Jemiah, come up with a better excuse," she said, and I chuckled. "You really want to know the truth?" I asked her, and she bobbed her head. "You might not believe it, and I know you would think I'm trying to play you or something, but the truth is that—" "Ah!" she screamed out in pain as she crumbled to the floor. "Ah, not again!" I quickly bent down to her level and pulled her closer to me as she groaned out. "Make this stop, please," she pleaded. I didn't know what to say. And though I have the remedy of making it stop, I don't know if she will be happy to hear it. There is a way to make it stop, but I don't know if you would want it. "Tell me anything, and I will gladly do it." Another wave of heat mixed with pain struck again, and she pulled on my shirt. I could perceive the sex coming out of her, and it aroused me, making my member hardened like a rock. "I have to please you. Making you feel the pleasure, it will replace the pain you're feeling," I said, and watched as her eyes flung open in surprise. "I won't have sex with you, but I promise just to make you okay." "Make love with me. Make him suffer as much as he is making me suffer. Please," she pleaded. "You will die." "I don't care any longer, as long as he suffers as much pain as I'm suffering. Then dying will ease me of everything," she said, in between moans of pleasure and pain. "It matters to me," I yelled, startling her. "Why?" "Because you are my mate, destined by the moon goddess. I have been holding it for so long because you don't seem to recognize me. I'm okay with that, as long as you're alive. I would rather go through hell than watch you die." I couldn't control myself any longer, as the words came pouring out, which left her confused and unable to say any words when I was done talking. "Say something, please. Anything at all," I pleaded. I didn't know about it. Why did you hide it from me? And for how long have you known?" she asked. "The very first day you were introduced to us by Alpha Rhodey as his mate, I thought you would perceive my pheromones, but you never did. I waited for you, but you still didn't, and I don't blame you. The mark on your neck blocked everything, and once it's erased, you can feel me." "Then mark me." She stood up from the ground. The pain that was once unbearable for her finally subsided. It meant Rhodey was done satisfying himself, and soon he will call for me. I have to choose whether to continue staying here or run away from here. Thanks to Harry for taking me to his favorite place and for showing me the crack on the fence that could fit a human, we can both leave here and be free if she wants to come with me. I can't. The moment we do that, then you will be killed. Even if we are not mated, Dexter wouldn't let you die like that. So that means both of our lives will be at stake." "Then what do you suggest we do?" "Come with me. Let's leave this pack together. I don't know what the future holds for us, but when we are together, we will be stronger. So please, let's escape together." I stood up, stretching my hands towards her, hoping she would take it and escape this hellhole she was in. She paced around for a moment, and finally she stopped in front of me, and I couldn't hold the excitement in when she held my hand. "What's your plan? And how do we get the hell out of here?" she asked. "Hold on. Get your things and I will go get mine with the money I have been saving. I will get you out of here in no time." I hurried out of the cell and ran towards my home. Rhodey's car was nowhere in sight, and my only conclusion was that he was out again to get drunk, and once he got back he would be heading to Elizabeth's home, where she was trapped, to force himself on her again. I wouldn't allow it this time. I have 15 minutes to be out of here. Entering my room and grabbing my backpack, I quickly threw some trousers and clothes in. I opened my safe and took out all the money I had, which was enough to rent a house and start a business in the human world. And besides, Harry was owing me a favor, wherever he is. He would help me out. Wearing my hoodie and putting the cape on my head, I ran back to where Elizabeth was, and together we headed to the West Wing, where the crack was located. I prayed to the moon goddess to guide us as we escape, without having to fight or kill anyone.